welcome to the lesson on creating content for your page, which I know is a really, really big one on your list because it was a big one on my list. I think it's a big one on everybody's list. We're going to talk today about the kind of content that you're going to use on your business page. You can use this in your group and on your personal profile, aside from the selling part, to keep conversations going. But first, let's reiterate, just to sort of recover this again. I know that we've talked about it in the last several videos, but it's worth mentioning again, that over the last 10 years, in the lifespan of social media, you have learned a great many things, both as a consumer and a user of the social media, and now as a business owner. And those ideas have been piling up on top of each other over time to create this idea of what creates a successful business. What we're going to do now is mentally reset how you approach your social media posting specifically, right? So for that, we're going to provide for you a 14-day content calendar that you can use, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You do not have to overthink it now. Now you can just kind of pull that out and keep posting by using that framework as your guide. However, let's talk a little bit first about social media momentum and how social media actually works to grow your business. One of the biggest misconceptions about social media, and this is, I think, what makes it really, really hard for business owners, is that we tend to think of each post as the post that is going to make or break our business. Every time I used to sit down to write a post, I would be so fixated on what to write or how to write, because in my mind, I was thinking to myself, this is the post. I have to do this right or my business will suffer and I will lose my money and everything's going to be terrible, right? And that's not me even exaggerating, because I suffer from social anxiety and general anxiety and like a whole lot of other mental illnesses. And for me, if I don't have a successful post, it's not just not a successful post for me. I look at it in my mind, I'm like, that post failed. I don't know how to write a post. Oh my God, I don't know how to attract people. I don't even know how to get people. How am I going to grow my business if I don't get people? I'm not going to be able to grow my business. How am I going to make money? If I can't make money, how am I going to feed myself? How am I going to pay the bills? Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay rent or mortgage? Oh my God, I'm going to be homeless. And I can take myself on that journey very quickly. So it's not a situation where I'm sitting down to write a post and I'm like, oh, this is no big deal, and I just can't think of something. There is an entire process, a psychological process that I go through when I sit down to write a post that keeps me from writing the successful post that I'm trying to create. Now, this was something that I used to struggle with enormously, because in my mind, I looked at every single post as the make or break it for my business. So the very first thing that I want to share with you right now is that is a complete and utter lie. Complete and utter fallacy. That was a created, fabricated idea that came from whatever it is that influenced me to decide what is and isn't relevant on social media. For you, it's highly likely that you have very similar belief systems where you believe that each post is the microcosm of your whole business and it's going to make or break you as a business owner. That also came from many, many years of all of this stuff being dumped on you. So the very first thing that I want you to know is that each post is not the one that is going to make or break your business. And in fact, the social media is all about building momentum slowly over the course of time and adapting to changes as you grow. So what that means is that when you think about social media as a growth strategy, it's not about I made a post that I get a lot of reach and engagement or not. It's about what is the long-term plan that I have for my business? What is the long-term growth strategy that I have in place? What are the long-term tactics that I'm going to use to grow, with each of these posts acting as a seed here, a seed there, and each seed is getting planted, and some may grow and some may not, and some may make zucchinis, grow into zucchinis, which will turn into these gigantic plants that are going to create so many vegetables that nobody even wants to, I'm sick of zucchini, I'll never eat it again. And other seeds that you plant are going to be like asparagus, where you'll toss it, you'll plant it, and it may not grow for 3 years, but once it grows, it's going to grow for 10 years nonstop. So the key thing to keep in mind is that social media is not about doing something and immediately seeing those results. It's about consistently doing activities that will create momentum to then grow your business as you go. So this idea of looking at each individual post as like the big kahuna, the one that's going to make all the difference, that's what keeps us from posting. So you have to slow down and be able to adapt as you go. So imagine if you were like running really, really fast, right? Super fast, not really paying attention to where you're going because you're just running really fast because you're trying to get somewhere. I've actually had this happen to me yesterday. I was like trying to get inside the house and I was just trying to get there because it was raining. I didn't see that there was this tree branch in front of my face that was like, because I didn't want to get wet. And I walked right into the tree branch, smashed my face, covered in just water. It was awful. It was really annoying because I wasn't looking where I was going. I wasn't able to adapt or move or get out of the way quickly enough because I didn't even see the tree. The same thing holds true for social media. If you're running so fast and constantly posting and constantly trying to just get things done and got to get the post out and got to get the post, you're never going to be able to slow down to adapt your strategy to make sure that you are actually fitting in with your particular audience, that you're actually communicating with them and connecting with them. You're not going to know what changes to make or how to adapt to create that nuance that's going to get their attention. The good news is that in stage 2, you're going to learn all about how to do that. But for stage 1 right now, the key thing to learn is that each individual post is not the biggest or most important post that you make. And it is much more important for you to get into the habit of posting consistently than it is for you to have posts that knock it out of the park at this stage of your business. Once you have built consistency in terms of your posting, at that stage, it's time for you to start thinking about adapting and pivoting and, what you might want to write about instead or things like that. But first, you simply have to get consistent in posting. So the very, very first thing that we're going to do is give you a framework that you can use to just get consistent in posting. That's all you need to do. And that is the 14-day content plan. Now, once you look at your 14-day content plan, I want to give you a couple of things, prep you with a couple of things. So first is that you only need to post 3 to 5 times a week on your business page, 3 to 5 times a week on your personal profile, and 3 to 5 times a week in your group at minimum. It's likely that you're going to end up posting more than that simply because of the way that business goes, your day-to-day activities, things that you're doing. But at minimum, 3 to 5 times a week is all you really need. For the purposes of our training, we're going to talk about 4 specific types of posts. And I'm going to tell you what each one of those is about so that you know how to use them when we get to the workbook. The first type of post that you're going to be writing about is what I like to call the "Did we just become best friends?" post. And that post is the kind of post that you make so that people can see what kinds of things you have in common, right? So last night, I'm still high on this, right? Last night I watched Fast and the Furious with my dad because he had never seen it before and he is a big fan of Vin Diesel, right? So I made a post about that on my personal profile, and immediately after, tons of people started engaging because turns out lots of people love Fast and the Furious. I didn't know how many people I knew loved Fast and the Furious. So now all of those people are part of oh my gosh, look at all these things, look at that we have in common, and we can have a conversation about that. These are not going to be business related. They're usually going to be related to your day-to-day life. So it's, oh my goodness, I love avocados. And everybody who loves avocados jumps in, right? Great, fabulous. Now we're best friends because we love avocados. But it goes the other way as well. I made a post a while back about culottes where I was talking about how I didn't understand why culottes were making a comeback. They're so weird. I don't like them. And I actually felt like everyone was going to agree with me. I was positive everyone was going to agree with me. But turns out lots of people have culottes and lots of people love culottes. I was in the minority. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But we ended up having a really great, funny conversation that created a lot of engagement, and other people started connecting with each other within that conversation because some people had like the same pair of culottes, some people like the same type. And so it created an engine of its own. So when we talk about did we just become best friends and the kinds of things that you share about that you may like or dislike, it's not about making sure that everybody who responds agrees with you. It's simply about letting people get to know you better on a personal level. So that's what that segment is about. Second, conversation starters. Now you heard a little bit about these in the earlier post, but those are things just to kind of wake up your audience that are guaranteed to get engagement. And we've given you a sampling of those conversation starters that you can use anytime you'd like. You sort of just put those out there, use them, get the conversation going. The third type of post that I like to talk about is the low stakes post. Now that post is a post that I make because for me, I'm not expecting a ton of engagement. It's something that I actually just wanted to share. So if I happen to be, the other day we were driving to Mystic and I made a quick post about being in Mystic, but I didn't really expect a ton of engagement. I kind of just wanted to put it out there, mostly for me really, so that in a few years when I got the memory, I would see the memory showing up on my Facebook. Low stakes posts are posts that you make knowing that you may not get a ton of engagement, but you are sharing because you want to share it. Not because you're trying to get engagement, but it's something that's really exciting for you. That's something that you're doing. It's something that you want to get out there. It can be legit any type of post, but it's one where you're doing it with the knowledge that it's something you're doing super quick to get something out there, to show something to someone, to remind yourself in the future, but it's not something that you're making a post about so that you can get like tons and tons of engagement. Those are the kinds of posts that I recommend doing rarely, but it's important that you know what they are when you make them so that you are aware and prepared for the kind of engagement that you can get, because posts like that are usually going to be crapshoots. You could accidentally get a ton of engagement because somebody happens to connect with it and oh my goodness, or you could get zero engagement. Those posts, don't worry too much about. Not a big deal. Okay. Now you have your fourth type of post, which is I know what I'm talking about. Now, I know what I'm talking about type of post is the post where you are making sure that your audience, whoever it is, whether they're your friends, your family, your followers, your customers, your clients, doesn't matter, that they see you as an authority in whatever it is that you do in your business. So if you are someone who sells, you're a bomb party hostess, then for you, you're going to want to know about the jewelry, know how to talk about the jewelry, know about gemstones, know how to talk about the things that you are selling. If you are a boutique owner, then you may talk about how things fit or style, or oh my God, did you hear about this week in fashion? Or oh my goodness, fashion fail. Or hey, here's a tip for how you can keep your shirts from sliding up and shelving on your bosom. Many different things that you can share, but basically those are the kinds of posts that basically let your audience see a little bit about see a little bit about the knowledge that you have in your particular sphere of influence. And then the fifth one is buy from me, right? Those are your sales posts. Those are your outright, I'm selling to you kinds of posts. In your 14-day content calendar, what you'll notice here is that you have the days of the week on the left with the date, your business page, and your personal profile. So what I'm going to recommend for you is that you print this out and then put in your dates in there. And each one of those will tell you what you're going to post. So on Monday, you'll post a buy from me post on your business page. Go ahead and make that post. On Tuesday, you'll make a post about did we just become best friends, sharing a little bit about yourself. On Wednesday, you're going to demonstrate your expertise. Same thing on Thursday. Friday is another did we just become best friends. Now remember, I mentioned that you want to post 3 to 5 times a week, so you can skip any couple of days on here. I just wanted to make sure that we had every day accounted for. You can use this as a guideline for writing your post for the next couple of weeks. Again, you only need to post 3 to 5 times a week on your personal profile and 3 to 5 times a week on your business page. And if something doesn't resonate with you, then go ahead and skip it and move on to the rest. Now, at any point in time, you can replace any of these with a conversation starter in the event that you'd prefer to. So you have week 1 and then you have week 2 that are both lined up and organized according to, I know what I'm talking about, did we just become best friends, and buy from me. Now, the reason why I have this broken up in this way is because as we continue to develop your content strategy, you're going to find that some of these resonate with you better than others. So maybe I know what I'm talking about is something that you're really good at and you really, really enjoy doing it, and you find that you can write tons and tons of posts about that. So you may do that more than a did we just become best friends type of post, because that post is not one that you find super comfortable, and that is totally okay. The purpose of this 14-day plan is to give you a framework with which to start posting using this strategy until you get comfortable with it. Once you get comfortable with it, we can start workshopping which techniques and tactics work best for you so that you're creating a content plan that is customized to your specific way of engaging with your audience, the things that you like to talk about, the things that you like to do, because everybody's business is different. Now, at the bottom of this worksheet, just so you know, there are some prompts that will help you identify what you could put in each of these posts. So we have a section for I know what I'm talking about, where it talks about answering a question about your product, what's the latest scoop in your industry, product reviews, how to, sharing podcast posts, things like that. There's also did we just become best friend ideas, as well as sales ideas. So there's a lot of content ideas in here, so that as you're going through the content plan, you can fill these things in as you go. The problems that we run into as business owners come from a very, very real place. They come from a place of programming of the last X number of years that we have been learning about business. The one thing that I want to definitely recommend to you, though, is that if you run into any problems, please bring your questions to the wall of the squad anytime. We are here to help. There are tons of people who've been through this content over and over and over again, who struggled with it and got through it and are now seeing crazy success in their business. Feel free to use the squad as a resource to grow. You also have office hours on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern with me, and office hours on Wednesday at noon with Syra, my sister. Make sure that if you have questions that are not answered on the wall, or if you'd prefer to have one-on-one guidance, bring those questions to office hours so that we can help massage you through some of these issues. Here. Well, I have something for you then. You may be wondering, wait a minute, Vanessa, you said that for social media to work, I need to go slow. And I'm buying into that. You may be totally bought into that. But you may also be asking, what about those people who throw tons and tons of money behind social media? Or what about those people who did it super, super, super fast? Why did it work for them and not me? There is a price to be paid no matter how you do it. Okay, so whether you decide to go slow or you decide to go fast, you're going to have to pay a price for it. So if you go slow in this way, the way that we're doing it, it's because what you're looking for is a balanced life that allows you to enjoy your life and also make money in your business. And you have a very specific idea of how you want to run your business. It's not a cookie cutter. Your business is not a cookie cutter. The idea that you have isn't cookie cutter. You need it customized to you. Perfect, right? There are other people who, for them, it is more important to throw a lot of money at the problem and hire people to take care of all of these things, get it up and running and go. And the price that they pay is monetary. So for them, they may pay a lot of money to get off the ground much, much quicker. So it is important to keep in mind that there are people who they definitely go quickly and they see success, and they see success super, super fast. That happens if you are willing to pay a financial price, or there's also a very significant emotional price, which often is you need to hire a lot of people to support you, which means that you now have extra added expenses, which means all of the income that you're making, you will now need to distribute it across more than just you and your family. You're also spending it on your assistant and your inventory manager and your social media manager and your marketing manager and so on and your ads and so on and so forth. So it is important to keep in mind that though there are definitely ways to speed up this process and go shoot through to the stratosphere and hire someone to do it that way, that requires either a significant financial investment or a significant emotional investment in that because you're spending so much money. If you do want to go in that track and you do want to hire somebody to do a lot of these things for you, reach out to me. I have people I can recommend to you for just about anything you want to get done in your business. However, if you do want to build a long-term sustainable business that is not going to lead to burnout, overwhelm, or have you making a choice between your life and your business, this is the way to go. Okay, so now you know all about your content planning strategy and why sometimes people are able to go faster and get results, and why you may or may not want to do that. Next step is going to be figuring out how to approach your business so that you are creating progress and not simply doing a lot of things. See you in the next video.